Uh, Randy, we got here with Randy Palmer, first year head coach at Pleasanton. Randy, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you came from.
Where I came from is right here in Pleasanton. So I've kind of made a full circle of coaching and playing. I played high school football here and graduated in '94. Went and played football at Texas A&M in Kingsville for 5 years, where I actually got to meet Jeff Stivers over here, and then the team that we're playing against this week, Gonzalez with Lyndon Hamilton, was my roommate for some seasons down there in Kingsville, and but ended up being an All-American tight end at Kingsville. Had a lot of success down there as a player and played in the NFL for 3 years, and then after that career kind of came to an end, it was time for me to get in the real world, and I knew that I always wanted to be a coach, and so with my experiences as a player, I was able to start my coaching career in Poteet. I was the offensive line coach in Poteet down the road, and I was there for 4 years, and then ended up coming to work over here in Pleasanton for 4 years. I was the offensive line coach here from '04 to '07, and ended up becoming the offensive coordinator here in '07. We ended up going to the state semifinals my last year here, and we lost to Liberty Hill in the Alamo Dome, which was a tough game, but it was a very successful season for us. It was a lot of fun being able to get all the way that far. And then I ended up taking a head football coaching position back at Poteet. I was there for 1 year, and then I was head football coach in Three Rivers, just south of here, for 8 years. Had a lot of success down in Three Rivers. Had multiple playoff teams. Were able to win some playoff games, and most memorable season there, we went undefeated. We were 10-0 district champs, and made it all the way to the third round, where we lost to Mason in the third round of the playoffs. And then after my time at Three Rivers, the last 8 years, I've been the offensive coordinator at Shiner with the Comanches, and just had a lot of success over there. The football team and just the whole program. We just hit it running from day one, and had a lot of success in Shiner. We ended up winning 2 state championships in football, 1 state championship in track, and we were the state runner-up last year in Shiner. We lost to Munster in the state championship game, and got the call from Coach Liska to come back over here to Pleasanton, and did the interview process, and thought it was a good fit, and definitely wanted to try to bring some success back to Pleasanton. And it's going to take some time. It's a lot of work in front of us, and we realize what we're getting into. And I was able to hire Troy Moses as my offensive coordinator and offensive line coach, and then I was also able to hire Trey Ailey as my defensive coordinator. And these are two guys that I've known for 30 years. We've never worked together, but I've known them for a very long time, and it's been really, really a lot of fun this year coaching with those two guys and the staff members that we already have here in Pleasanton. And I was also able to hire my son, Tyler. So Tyler's on staff here as well. He coaches at our junior high and volunteers his time to come up here and help us at the high school level as well. And it's just the whole, kind of coming back over here has been a lot of fun, and just kind of making a full circle with it as well, because I'm definitely on the downhill side. I don't plan on doing this for another 20 years. I've been doing this now for 24 years. I'm looking to really try to get this program going in the right direction, and see what we can do.
Sounds good. So I was at Medina Valley for 30 years. I coached there. Did you we all were in their district when you were a coordinator, I believe.
Yes, we were with Medina Valley. You guys were. You do look familiar. Y'all had the big offensive lineman, that big old Patrick Hogue.
Patrick Hogue, yes sir, yes sir.
Y'all had Patrick, and then just some really physical running backs, and really good football teams. They all were really, really good.
That's right. I remember. I remember Pleasanton being pretty big boys themselves.
Yes, no, we had some pretty good ball clubs, and we're really trying to get back to where we're able to play that style again. We're just we're wanting to get more physical, and really kind of establish that identity, and it's a work in progress.
Gotcha.
Well, Randy, you kind of mentioned the the Pleasanton community and coming back home. But let's talk about the subtle differences that you may not see as much as Coach Hamilton does from the 6A level going down to the 4A Division II level. But you have been at small schools your whole career basically.
Yes.
But Shiner had to be probably the smallest.
Yes,
but you probably had a lot of athletes there too.
Yeah, no, it was the smallest, but we really, like per capita, kind of like athleticism wise, we've had several kids play collegiate football. We had two kids play Division I football. We had one that went to UTSA, and Danye Taylor, and then Dalton Brooks is the starting free safety for the A&M Aggies right now. So we had two big time Division I guys, and then we have a guy that's playing in Kingsville, and a couple other guys that played. My son played at Kingsville, so we've definitely had a run of some athletes, and then we've got one of our quarterbacks. He's the number one pitcher at Sam Houston State right now. So kind of the dual sport as well. The football guys that play baseball, run track, play basketball, and that's really kind of what we're trying to get more of that here. We've got a lot of kids that just do a lot of one sport, and I'm really trying to push our kids to be really involved in more than just one sport. We want to get our kids involved in as much stuff as they can. We're kind of in between. We're not the big 5A, 6A, and we're not 2A, so we're kind of in that in between. But I still feel like we could have a lot of kids that can have a lot of success doing multiple sports here.
And that in itself is one of the big differences between 2A Shiner coming up to 4A where you're at now. Not only the athletes, but the sharing of athletes, and now, you're the athletic director, so you're in charge of the girls'
program.
No,
I'm not the athletic director.
That's right. You're not.
Yeah, I'm the head football coach. So it really, that part's been pretty good, right? I just get to focus on football, and Coach Liska worries about all the other stuff. And so that part, has been really, really making my job a lot easier when it comes to, kind of the daily stuff that goes on in the athletics world.
And the time, I'm sure.
Yes.
Tell us now, Coach Palmer, a little bit about the challenges you've had getting to know the players, getting to know your coaching staff. I know that, I was over there and visited with you back in, June, July, and you were still trying to hire some coaches. So tell us something about, the getting the players and the staff all on the same page. I know you kind of touched on it off camera a little bit earlier.
Yeah, that part's been pretty good. We've been able to get all of the staff on board. A lot of these guys I kind of knew. Some of them played here in Pleasanton. They were probably in junior high the last time I was here. So I've kind of known some of these guys, and then obviously getting to hire Troy Moses and Trey Ailey, that was a huge plus. Getting some guys with a lot of experience coming in, and just building those relationships. And that part's been fun, getting to know some coaches that I've never worked with before and not known, but just kind of trying to instill, what we want in a program, what we want our kids to be, what we want the kids to look like on the field, their disciplines, their work ethics, how they're finishing drills. And kind of after practice, kind of going over stuff and saying, hey, we want to get this done. Let's make sure when we're doing this drill, we're working on this. And sometimes, and then just bouncing ideas off of Coach Ailey and Coach Moses as well. They've been at some different schools, and I always feel like it's a plus to have, guys that are not all the same people, and guys that have not, sometimes worked together forever, because you get to bring those experiences from the other schools to you, stuff that somebody has been able to use that had a lot of success doing things a certain way. And then you bounce those ideas around, and you say, I like that way better than what I was doing. Or, sometimes it's, I don't know, I feel pretty confident in what we're doing. But just the gelling of coaches, I think is a lot of fun.
Are y'all running the wing tee? I thought
no, we're running what we ran in Shiner. We're running the split back veer.
Okay.
But with the split back veer, I ran that offense in Shiner for 8 years, and then in Three Rivers we ran slot T, and the styles are very similar. I know it's kind of triple option, but a lot of the blocking schemes and downhill running, the angles that we're trying to create with our blocks, they're very similar. It's got a lot of similarities, and that was one thing
Yeah.
that I was able to pick up real quick when I went from Three Rivers to Shiner. Just the run-based offense and kind of what we're looking for and what we're trying to do. It really kind of fit together pretty easily. And I've loved what we've been doing and been installing it here. And we've definitely had some growing pains of learning. They were a shotgun spread team for probably 20 years now. So just learning to get under center again. Taking snaps. Just the whole process has been, it's a learning process, and the naming of plays, their plays were words, so everything was a word, and ours is numbers, so just, learning the number system as opposed to a word system, so just those things alone, just for teenage kids, it can be a process, and there's definitely been some growing pains. But we're definitely, I'm starting to see us, the light bulbs are turning on a lot more now, the last couple of weeks, and it's taking some time, but we're starting to move a little faster.
As a retired O-line coach, you're kind of speaking my language there. Now, the game coming up on Friday, going to be won and lost in the trenches?
Absolutely, yes.
It has to be.
And Gonzalez, they're kind of in the same boat we are. Coach Hamilton's going over there, and he's got a new defense and new offense with Coach Walksmith. So, I'm sure they're battling some of the same stuff that we're battling here.
Right.
But they've done an outstanding job. Coach Hamilton and Coach Walksmith and their staff over there, they've obviously done a great job watching and preparing for them. They've got plenty of speed. And their kids are coming off the ball very well. So we've got our hands full for sure on Friday night.
Yeah. Real briefly, Coach, I want to, reference, last year, I believe the last 2 years, Pleasanton has not been to the playoffs. They're 3 years removed now from making the playoffs. But the last 2 years, they have had, some improvement. There has been little signs of improvement. This year, I mean, obviously you want to improve off of what they have done in the past, but this is kind of a whole new thing. So you're not really comparing to last year. That wouldn't be fair to the kids or to the program or to the coaches before you, but you have to have something to establish your baseline. And what is that going to be this year for you guys?
The main thing that we're looking for is we want to see improvement each week. It's really on a daily basis. I'm a big believer, and there is no flat lines. You don't stay as a flat line as an athlete and as a program. You're either moving up or you're moving down, and we want to make sure that we continue moving upwards. We don't want to start spiraling down, and that's the biggest thing we're looking for on a daily and weekly basis, is to make sure that trajectory keeps pointing up. And we talked about it this past week. The biggest thing, we lost against Jordanton last week, and our kids were very emotional and upset, and it was good to see. I'm glad that our kids were upset for losing.
Right.
It shows that they care. It shows that they're invested. But the biggest thing that I told them was that we don't win and lose games on Friday nights. We win and lose games on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And we've been too inconsistent with our practices to really say that we're fully prepared for games on Friday nights. And that's why those first two games looked the way they did. We were up and down throughout those games with mistakes that we were making, fumbles and turnovers, and just the different things that we're putting ourselves in those first two games. But the great thing about it too was our resiliency, our not quitting, our finding a way to win. Our defense and special teams played great, and then our offense finally started getting going, and we were able to win the game. And then we look at the Jordanton game, and I really felt offensively we did execute a lot better. We did not turn the ball over as much. We still got the turnover bug in the second half, but I felt so much better about how we had performed offensively because I recognized what we were doing, where we were going, and we were playing much more physical. So, we want to build on that and see if we can continue moving forward with that. And that's the biggest thing we're looking for. And yes, our goal is to make the playoffs. That's the number one goal. We want to be a playoff team.
Tell us a little bit about your relationship with Coach Hamilton over there. I mean, you touched on it earlier that y'all were roommates in college, but just touch on, I know your families are good friends. We're all friends. We all hang out a lot together. But tell us a little bit about your relationship.
And remind them what we're calling this game.
Oh yeah, this is the Javelina Bowl.
Hey, you realize there is 6 Javelinas coaching in this. For sure. There might be more because we've got 4 here in Pleasanton.
Wow.
And then Lyndon's got him. And then Clay Englehart, his special teams guy, is from Kingsville also. So I know there's at least 6. There's at least 6 of us coaching.
Well, and then it's appropriately titled. This is the Javelina Bowl. Yes. And, we're going to refer to that, a lot Friday night. And just tell us a little bit about y'all's relationship.
I can't say enough about Lyndon. I love Lyndon Hamilton. Definitely a lifelong friend, and not one that I knew growing up in high school, but met him at Hoggy Days in Kingsville. We went to Hoggy Days together, which is the deal they do in the spring for people that are fixing to go to school down in Kingsville, and we actually were roommates at Hoggy Days. And he had said he was going to play football. And I said, well, I'm going to play football here too. And so we were like, well, I don't have a roommate. So we kind of just said, yeah, no, I think this will work out. So we ended up rooming together there at Turner Bishop Hall. And, just lifelong stuff. We still celebrate every summer together. He has his lake house there in Gonzales where we've been getting together for years. And just going out to the river and going to the Luling Watermelon Thump. So we've had a lot of good times at the Watermelon Thump and just going to different places together with him and his family. Me and my wife Jody, we've known Lyndon and we've known Delane, his wife, for years. And then their boys, we've known Lyndon and Delane's boys, Bryce and Drew. We've known those boys since they were little kids, and just like they've known Tyler and Brooke, my 2 kids, me and Jody's kids, just kind of growing up together, and then the fact that our sons went to Kingsville and they were there at the same time, so Tyler was at Kingsville with Bryce and Drew, so Drew was at Kingsville also, and then now our daughter Brooke is at Kingsville, so just
in the band,
the family love for each other. It really is family. Lyndon is not just a friend. He really is. He's like a brother. And I absolutely love him. And I want him to win every single football game at Gonzales, except for this one Friday night. So, just Lyndon is one of those guys. He's easy to get along with. And he's an awesome coach. He's been so successful everywhere he's been, and just the respect that I have for him, and the fact, kind of the same thing with you too, Jeff. And you're on the defensive side, so having to go against yourself, Jeff, and then having to go against Lyndon in practice, it was competitive atmospheres and fun stuff. Being able to go back and talk about those kinds of things where we were trying to move the football against you guys while y'all are on defense, and just the different stories that go along with that as well. So
always thought about you guys, and the success and watching you guys. So we appreciate you, number one, allowing us to come in and do this game Friday night. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. I don't know if y'all have plans to continue this rivalry in the future, but we sure hope so, because it would be a lot of fun to see both of y'all build your programs and how
we've definitely talked about, it's going to be all on how
District.
the
Yep.
realignment ends up coming up and how many teams we've got, and
Yep.
but we've talked about it.
That's good.
The travel, it is a little bit on the far side. There is some complications with that. But he's got a freshman in a JV team. We've got a freshman in a JV, and that helps out a lot.
Yes, sir. Hi, I'm Keaton Diaz, number 10. I'm a kicker, punter, receiver, and outside linebacker. And
Mr. Do It All.
And what number were you?
number 10.
10. Okay, gotcha. Practice today.
Today's practice was pretty good. Offense was moving pretty nice, and defense, we were just doing a lot of form rec, looking at a new offense this
Yeah.
week. So
Right.
it was pretty nice.
Walking chalk talk, walk and talk. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. First thing I want to ask you is how did you initially get interested in the game of football?
I always, heard my dad talking about it growing up, and then he didn't let me play like the underage things, so I had to join in junior high. And after the first year, I'd say I committed to it a little bit more, and saw nothing but positive from there, and just fell in love with being on the field.
Awesome.
Cool. Do you have a most memorable moment in the game of football or in any sport? Any sport, the game of football. What is your most memorable moment?
I'd say my most memorable moment is probably my field goal in Jefferson, or that pick that I had in Highlands this year. I have a little bit of recency bias, but I think those are probably my favorite right now.
All right. What about
Cool.
your sports idol? Like, who in football you kind of look up to?
For football, it's definitely Sean Taylor. I love the way he plays. Just love it.
The Commanders fan?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, I am. That's why I was hoping I got
Oh,
one.
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about your leadership style on the field and off the field. Are you a vocal leader? Do you lead by action? Tell us a little bit about that.
I'd say I definitely lead by action more. I'm just never been a very vocal guy. Have a little bit of problem public speaking. But I just like to go out there and play hard so other people see that they need to play hard as well.
Good.
That's
and
good.
you're
Okay.
speaking just fine.
Yeah. All right. Last question I'm going to ask you is, what advice would you give to any younger athletes that are just starting the game of football?
I'd say trust your coaches and just stay disciplined, because I feel like discipline's the biggest part. You'll never be successful in football if you're not disciplined. You don't listen to your coach. That's why I tell them, just perfect your craft and go out there and grind every day. Sir.
All right. Thank you, man, and good luck. Best of luck
Good luck,
Friday.
man.
Thank you.
Got you.
Well, my name is Jacob Barrow. I'm a middle linebacker and tight end. I'm number 11, and I'm a senior.
All right. Linebacker, tight end, you said, right?
Yes, sir.
So you're like one of the tough guys on the team, huh? The two positions where you got to lay some wood.
You can say that. Yes, sir.
What do you enjoy most about the game of football?
I enjoy just being around a group of people that I enjoy being around every single day. We're spending each week probably about 12 hours together, and it's just, I like building like that bond with everyone, and I just enjoy the atmosphere of Friday Night Lights and just football in general.
And I'm going to ask you, how did you first get interested in the game of football?
Kind of the same way Keaton did. I always grew up around it. My parents are big A&M fans. So like basically from as early as I can remember, it was always just like watching A&M games, watching college football. And like Keaton, I never got to play like Pee Wee football and whenever I was younger. So I joined junior high. And once I got there, I was moving around positions, and then eventually I found linebacker, and And like once I got that, I was like, I'm going to be committed to this, and I've enjoyed it ever since.
Yeah.
So
You like to
you
hit
just
people
said
hard?
Yes, sir, I
linebacker.
do.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. You just said linebacker right there. So you like defense a little more than offense, or which one?
I would have a preference towards defense.
Yeah, baby.
Is there a reason?
Yeah, because
Probably,
linebackers are made are born. They're not made.
Hey, let him answer.
probably the violence. I like the violence of linebacker. I know offense can be equally as violent, but I just feel like I like being able to like come downhill and just hit a running back or anybody really. I feel I enjoy it a little bit more than having to be down in the stance or something like that.
Gotcha.
Okay, what is your best memory or proudest moment in athletics or the game of football?
I would have to also say the Jefferson game from this year. I feel like even though it was a tough game to come back from, we were down, and the defense shut them out, and so it was just like a tough defensive game the entire time around. And for me, one memorable part was towards like the very end, we had this like 30-yard penalty, and they were like really close to the goal line, and then it was like 1st and 5, about like right on the goal line, about to score, and it was just like a rally almost out of like it was like a boost of energy just from everyone, and that has to be the most memorable moment by far for
Yeah.
all years.
Awesome.
So it sounds like from that last little statement you made that your leadership skills, when you talk about your leadership skills, are you a leader on the field by example, or are you a leader vocally? How do you lead?
I feel like I kind of do a little bit of both. I think I'm more of I'm not as vocal as I prefer to lead by example, but I definitely am vocal, especially when I need to be. But there are moments where it's kind of like I don't know what to say, so I'm just kind of like I'm gonna lead by action first, and then if I can think of something later, then I'll say that.
Yeah, that's good. Moment. All right. What advice would you give to a younger athlete starting out in the game of football?
Honestly, the biggest thing for me is trust your coaches and just stay committed. I mean, commitment will get you way farther than really anything. So just trust and commitment. That's all I would really say.
Good job. Thanks, bud. And just like I told Keaton, Coach Palmer will have access to these interviews. We'll have them on our Facebook page, our YouTube page, and we'll save, we'll have some clips of them Friday night.
Yes, sir.
Good luck.
All right. Thank you, bud.
All right.
Good luck
Thank
Friday.
y'all.